What's up? Good morning. Welcome to Trading Live with Bubba. And of course, markets are pretty dead. They're a little higher right now, a little bit of a rally. We've seen some action, but not really a lot of tradable action. And there's a big difference between the two. The action right now is pretty quiet, pretty sideways. Again, you have to play the market you have, and right now there's not a lot going on. The indexes are higher. Dow is up the biggest at the moment. Gold is under a little pressure again today after getting clobbered yesterday. A little bit of a rally here, but from a day trading standpoint, there isn't a lot to do. I would suggest that you be very patient and careful. We did have CPI this morning, which did cause a little bit of the spike, which you see back in here. Okay. And Thursday is PPI, but again, right now, the main traders, the big firms, everybody's on vacation. Right now, the C teams are in, and they're just sitting there watching managing positions in case they have to do something. There is a potential trade coming up here in crude oil. We'll keep an eye on here for a minute. But really, not a lot to do, and our trades from last week that we carried in this week are kind of mixed. Nothing great, nothing horrible. So we'll see how that plays out from there. But at the end of the day, again, I do tell you that it is extremely quiet and not very active, not very much to do. So we have to be patient and wait. But certainly we can take a look at crude. Okay, and we do need a potential red bar here. So let's see what happens on the exchange here. The stop in crude would be 64.35. Should we get the trade? And let's see where we go. Markets are surging a little bit, but again, nothing dramatic, nothing that I'd want to be overly involved in. So. And we're still waiting for an entry in crude oil. S&P on its highs, Dow near its highs. NASDAQ about 40 points away. And we're still waiting again for our entry in the crude oil. We are going to be a seller when we get the chance, but right now it's still going up, so there's no reason to get in. Again, let it keep running because, of course, we're selling it, so we might as well sell it higher. I don't think there's anything else going on, but we'll take a peek just to make sure. And no, the only potential trade we have here is crude oil. And of course, we're still waiting for a red bar to go ahead and trigger it. Okay, well, we're just going to wait. No reason to be early. And we're still going up. So again, we're still waiting for that 1 minute bar to give us a sell signal. The stop is now 64.40. Should we get a trade? We don't have a trade yet, but maybe we'll get it here. 64.40 will be the stop. And it looks like we'll probably get it here, maybe. We'll see. A little time to wait before. Nope, not yet. But it is quiet. It is not exactly, market's not exactly running around with some heavy volume. So we have to be very cautious here. But 64.80 is our stop. It looks like we're going to get the trade here. Okay, if you choose you can go ahead and make this trade here, 64.40 stop. Just set my orders in. Okay, so again, you can see it's very, very quiet. Okay, hey, that's what it is. This is the summertime blues, the lack of activity, nothing going on. So again, sometimes there's just not a reason to be overly involved. And if we just take a look at some of our other stuff that we look at on a daily basis, or for most stuff we watch, earnings are over. I mean, again, I am not overly interested in doing much of anything. We already are in Apple, which is a loser at the moment. But certainly, if you're not in, selling call spreads up here is certainly something that would be reasonable to do. Again, you are extremely overbought, so that's something to look at. Amazon, there is nothing to do. We did sell put spreads last week, so that was something that would be okay. Coin, we did sell put spreads there, which is working fine. Again, there's nothing new to do there. Crowd, which we sold put spreads, which is not working out. Okay. We sell put spreads, and of course you could sell them again. This is another opportunity if you choose. Again, I'm going to choose to pass myself. Normally I make all these trades I talk to you about, but I don't see any real reason to be involved. Ether, which is the crypto over Ethereum. Again, it's extremely overbought. Not that it can't get more. Obviously, we've watched the crypto world, but certainly sell call spreads here if you'd like. Meta. We are short call spreads from a little bit lower than here. So we're under a little bit of water here, but we do have some time left until that comes back. Let's just go back and see what's going on in the regular situation here. And our crude is like dead even, not even doing anything. Okay. So what I'm going to probably look to do is I'm going to go ahead and close out and take a couple of ticks profit and be done with the trade. I don't want to sit with it. I don't see any reason to hold. Not that it won't go in your favor, but I took it off for 2 ticks profit, and I'll just wait for the next opportunity if there is one. Again, I'm not overly enthused about what's going on in the market. Let's go back over here. Google continues to charge. Google is certainly one that you might want to sell some call spreads in. INOQ, we missed our opportunity. If you were watching, it would have been yesterday. IWM is about as dead as it can be. But certainly, if it charges up to about 227, I would look at it. MP, it is very overbought. It is an extremely whippy stock. Certainly, the play would be to sell call spreads here as well. But again, I'm particularly not doing too much participation right now. Microsoft, nothing. Okay. We did look at selling call spreads last week, which is working. Monster, nothing to do. NNE, nothing to do. Nugget, nothing really to do here. NVIDIA, you could certainly sell call spreads if you choose to do so. But again, as I said, I am personally not doing much at all here. I don't see the opportunity. Palantir, certainly one to sell some call spreads on. Let's just go back and see what is happening. Not much. Crude could give you another opportunity if you choose, but we'll watch. We'll sit back and watch. QBTS, nothing to do. The Qs on all-time new highs. So again, this would be a spot, up around 580. I think would be best. Okay, but certainly this is a spot here if you choose to do so. SMCI, this is a spot to sell some put spreads if you choose to. XYZ, nothing to do. SPY, new all-time highs. Probably want to sell some call spreads up here. And you can do those daily or for tomorrow or for the next day. That's up to you. And you do have the PPI coming out on Thursday. So you may not want to have that position on going into that. And maybe you do. Maybe it doesn't matter. Tesla, certainly sell call spreads if you choose to do so. Win, sell call spreads if you choose to do so. And Zoom, sell put spreads if you choose to do so. So again, these are just all we're looking at is some light opportunities to sell some premium while we're waiting for the markets to actually pick up some activity. We have very little activity right now, so it's hard to want to get too excited. You know, remember when you have these markets that are this thin, it's easy for the markets to go farther than you think because there's no sellers involved. Okay, this is what you're dealing with in the thin summer markets. Not a lot to do, so you just all you're trying to do now is maintain and grow your capital slowly. You're not looking for the home runs. Now, there is some out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't know where they are. Again, there's a whole bunch of, listen, there's thousands of stocks that you could be looking at. Certainly, I was showing you this one, or you might have seen this earlier on my screen. This has been a wild maniac, BMNR. Okay. I mean, this has been crazy. Okay. Went to 160, came back to 30. Now it's back to 60. But again, you're talking about taking some pretty heavy risk to deal in there. Eli Lilly, if you want to sell some put spreads here, would be an opportunity after getting hammered on earnings. So there are some things you could look at, but again, I choose personally to stay on the sideline because I don't really want to get involved. I don't want to have to watch it. I don't want to have to think about it. Okay. That's where I'm coming from. So for me, when I was on the trading floor, I'd be on the golf course already. Okay. Because there is very little to do right now. Now, maybe if the NASDAQ can get up to, another 50 points, I would look at selling the NASDAQ. I'm using, by the way, for those who are with me all the time, I'm using the Bollinger Bands, but we're using 3 standard deviations instead of 2. The standard setting for Bollinger Bands is 2. We're using 3 right now because if we get to 3, I would be a seller, especially if we get to 3 on volume. Now, the only one we got to was crude, which I've already closed. I didn't feel like holding on to it, but we did get to 3, and it was a blow off. We did get to trade, but overall, again, you can see the lack of any participation just about everywhere. Okay, so certainly I don't see any real reason to get heavily involved right now as we sit back and watch and wait for this market to give us some opportunities. And this is something that as a trader, you have to learn that discipline to do nothing. Okay. The ability to make no trade and not get involved is the same as making a trade. And I think that too many get too involved when there's really not much to do. Okay. And you can see how slow everything is moving. I mean, if you're not sure, here, take a look at the price ladder on the Dow. Okay. I mean, it's virtually not moving. Yes, it's up 460 points, but it's just kind of churning it tick by tick with no real speed to it. So again, I just warn you always that sometimes not trading is as good as trading. Sometimes there's no reason to be involved overall. And I think this is one of those cases that unless they give us exactly what we want, there really isn't a reason to be overly involved. Okay. Again, I think that, we'll watch and see if anything shows up, but obviously you're watching with me. So I would tend to think that you won't see anything, but certainly if we do get something, we're happy to take it if it meets our parameters, if it meets the specifics that we're looking for to make any trade. We're happy to go ahead and make that trade. But if it doesn't, why should I get involved? Where's my reasoning? Okay. Now, interesting enough, the NASDAQ was up here once before and then went all the way back to negative territory before coming all the way back up again. So you have an extremely thin market right now that is being determined. And again, I wouldn't think that you'd want to get too involved in here. But again, we'll watch it and see. I mean, if we got a spike rally, I'd certainly sell it. If we had a spike breakdown, I'd certainly buy it. Okay. The crude that we took a little profit on, even if we would have sat, okay, it's got now, instead of the 2 ticks we took profit, it's got 6 ticks profit. Okay. I'm not usually interested in sitting in markets that long with that lack of action. I think that that's a mistake that too many people make. They try to get involved when they have no business. So right now, all I'm waiting for is if gold goes up to here right now, Okay, I would consider selling it. Crude, if it goes back up to here, I'd consider selling it. So you can get the idea. The NASDAQ, if it goes up to here, I'd consider selling it. But right now, I'm not interested in doing anything. I think that you're making a mistake if you get too overly involved in here. Okay, and I think that's the bigger deal. Okay, that I think is the mistake that you make. Okay, so I think you should be very cautious, very patient, and again, I'd like to be trading more, but what am I going to do? I'm not going to force trades just because we're here together. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, we're just kind of grinding higher. Just look at what's going on. So certainly, do you want to try to fight that? Again, give me a quick pop, give me a reason to trade it, and I'll be happy to trade it. But without it, there's no reason for me to get involved. And that's what we're seeing. And as I said, on the spreads and stuff, I mean, those are fine if you want to take them. I'm personally going to sit them out and wait. I don't see any reason to be overly involved in here. So I'd rather sit back and do nothing. Okay. I will day trade if there's something that appears. I do have positions on, but I'm not interested in much of anything else should we see action. And I don't see all that much action starting to appear. So, again, it's unfortunate that at the time we're together, there isn't any action and nothing to do. But we have done well together over the year, and we'll continue. But we're not going to force anything. Okay, we got new highs again coming right now in the Russell, S&P, and NASDAQ, very close in the Dow. So it looks like this is going to be just a grinder, working its way higher all day. And some would buy into that, the momentum trade. I'd rather wait. I'd rather be a seller right now than a buyer, but I will only be a seller at levels I'm showing you now, and those can change if we continue to go higher. So again, it's really more about the speed of the move than the actual move. I mean, very tough to sell into a dull market, okay? Because dull markets do drift higher, and there's nothing else to believe. I mean, it's been history shows you that when volume is lacking, markets tend to rally, okay? And that's exactly what you're saying. Volume is lacking, and the markets are rallying. They're not going up in leaps and bounds. They're just grinding with small little tiny bars, okay, as they go. So certainly, again, it makes more sense to be on the cautious side in these markets than to try to be too aggressive. Okay, there are times for aggression, and there are times to be passive. And I believe this is one time that it's better off being passive, because I don't think you're going to benefit from aggression in here. So I think we'll call it a day. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here Thursday. Remember, every morning I put out an update before the markets open, give you an idea what I'm thinking for the day. And again, it's too slow to get involved, so we'll see you back here on Thursday.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.